All right, let's talk about one of the most fascinating, complex, and frankly, terrifying characters in the history of theater. We're diving deep into Henrik Ibsen's masterpiece, Hedda Gabler, a searing look at a woman trapped by her marriage, by her society, and most of all, by her own ambition. So let me just start by asking you this. Really think about it. How far would you go to feel like you were in the driver's seat of your own life? When every option feels like a dead end and your world is just shrinking around you, what kind of lines are you willing to cross to feel powerful again? And believe me, that is not a metaphor. The premiere of Hedda Gabler ended with an actual pistol shot that sent shockwaves through the theaters of the 19th century. It was Ibsen's brutal, unforgettable answer to what happens when you cage a powerful spirit and give it no room to breathe. Now, to really get who Hedda is, you have to understand where she came from. And the biggest clue? Well, it's right there in the title. Ibsen very deliberately did not call this play Hedda Tesman, that's her married name. He called it Hedda Gabler. That one choice tells you everything. You see, there are two Heddas at war inside of her. On one side, you've got Hedda Tesman, the wife. She's trapped in a loveless marriage to a kind but boring academic she doesn't respect. Her life is just dull. But on the other side, you have Hedda Gabler, the general's daughter. She's got that aristocratic fire, that ambition, that craving for power she inherited from her father. She has a brilliant mind and a restless spirit, with absolutely no place to put any of it. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Ibsen himself spelled it out. He said he wanted everyone to see her as her father's daughter first, not her husband's wife. That's the whole tragedy right there. She's a gobbler, through and through, forced to live in a Tesman world. And you can just feel that tension is about to snap. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the bars of this prison she's in, because it really is a prison, but it's what you'd call a gilded cage. It looks respectable, even beautiful from the outside. But inside, she's suffocating. She married her husband, George, not because she loved him, but because she felt her time was running out. It was a practical move that has turned into a life sentence. They're constantly worried about money, unable to live the grand life she feels she was born for. And as a woman in the 1890s, her world is tiny. It's the house. It's the drawing room. For a mind like Hedda's, this isn't just boring. It's a kind of living death. So what do you do when you're that smart, that ambitious, and that utterly powerless? Well, you find power wherever you can. And Hedda decides that if she can't shape her own destiny, she is damn well going to shape someone else's. And her target? Oh, it's the one person who could possibly set her world on fire. Lovborg. He's a brilliant writer, a reformed alcoholic, her husband's main rival, and an old flame. He is everything her new life is not: passionate, dangerous, and exciting. He's a ghost from the life she might have had. What she does next is just chillingly methodical. She carefully pushes him back towards drinking, wrecking his recovery. Then, when he loses the only copy of his masterpiece manuscript, she gets her hands on it. But instead of giving it back, she burns it, piece by piece, calling it their child. And for the final act, she gives him one of her father's pistols and convinces him to end his life beautifully. To her, this isn't evil. It's art. This is her one great creative act, and her medium is a human life. But here's the thing about trying to play God. Reality rarely cooperates with your artistic vision, and Hedda's carefully crafted tragedy is about to collide head-on with the messy, ugly truth. The difference is just devastating. She imagined this beautiful, noble suicide, a heroic end. The reality, he dies in a messy, accidental shooting in a brothel. It's not grand or poetic, it's tawdry and pathetic. In her own words, it's ridiculous and vile. And in that moment, she realizes her grand masterpiece has been twisted into a cheap, ugly joke. She controlled nothing. And just when she feels like she's lost all control, she finds out the trap is about to get so much worse. The game isn't just over, it's checkmate. Remember Judge Brack, the slimy family friend who has been circling her this whole time? Well, he knows a secret. He knows that the pistol that killed Lovborg belonged to Hedda, and he's been waiting for this exact moment to play his hand. And this is the final turn of the screw. Brack tells her he has no intention of going to the police. Oh no, it's much worse than that. He's going to use this secret to blackmail her, to force her to be his mistress. He now has total power over her. And there it is, trapped. The ultimate irony. Her entire destructive plan was a desperate lunge for freedom. And where did it get her? Right into the one situation she fears most, being completely and totally controlled by another person's will. She is no longer just bored, she's a possession. For Hedda Gabler, being owned by Judge Brack is a fate worse than any death. And so she realizes there's only one move left on the board. One final act where she, and only she, is the one in charge. A single, final pistol shot rings out. But this one isn't for Lovborg. This one is for her. In the only truly free act she has left, Hedda takes her own life. It is a horrific, tragic end, but it is on her terms. It's her final, terrible assertion of control. Now let's pull back, because this play is about so much more than just one woman's tragic story. With Hedda Gabler, Ibsen was doing something totally revolutionary. He was holding up a huge mirror to his own society and forcing them to look at the cages they built for people. See, Ibsen was one of the fathers of what we call theatrical realism. Before him, theater was often big, poetic, and about kings and epic myths. Ibsen slammed theater right into the middle-class living room. He put characters on stage who felt real, who were messy, who were driven by complex psychological needs, just like us. For audiences in 1891, seeing their own lives up there was absolutely electrifying, and more than a little bit disturbing. And that's why Hedda is still such an electrifying character. It's way too simple to just call her evil. She's really one of the first truly modern women in literature. Her awful actions don't just happen in a vacuum. They are the logical, tragic result of what happens when a powerful, brilliant personality is given zero outlets and zero power. Her desperate need for control is a direct response to living in a world that gave her none. Which leaves us with the big question that audiences have been arguing about for more than a century. When you look at the whole messy picture, the gilded cage she was in and the monstrous things she did to try and break out, what do you see? Is she a villain? A victim? Or is it possible she's both at the same time? Ibsen gives us no easy answers, and that incredible, uncomfortable complexity is exactly why we are still talking about Hedda Gabler today.